again. Right, now we have done our background. We need to embellish it. So we've got on the website, this is one of my favourite ribbons, it's really cool. We're going to be decorating the ribbon, scrunching it up, getting some movement, and then we've got, again on the website, we've got some beautiful die cut flowers, so we're going to be distressing them and embellishing. So let's get embellishing. Now your distressings, obviously, you can just apply them to your base. This is one of those heat resistant mats. Give them a good spritz with your water. That breaks up the ink, makes them nice and watery. Now, if you wanted to, you can take a piece of card, just dip that in there, and you're going to create a beautiful background. Let it dry, you'll create a real nice soft background. I'll show you that afterwards. However, not just for card, we have got our ribbon. We're just going to dump our ribbon in there. Now, because it's got the water's actually brought the ink up, and I've just add a bit more water, so it's not as intense, and it allows me to pick all that ink up with my ribbon. There we go. So I've got all that colour tone going through the ribbon. Just dry off my surface and bring in the heat gun. Now, this ribbon is cool because it actually holds a bit of shape. So I'm just going to take off the excess ink first of all. And this is something I found out actually through trial and error. If you keep a bit of, this is an old dog towel actually, it's a bit gross. But if you keep an old bit of towel and allow the ribbon to sit on that, when you dry it with your heat gun, your ribbon won't shoot across the room, and you won't, of course, burn your fingers. So we're going to dry this, but because we've got this ribbon all crunched up, it's actually going to dry with a bit of texture. So don't worry about burning it. You won't actually burn the ribbon, but you will get some gorgeous texture. So again, if you're into all your distress looks, if you want something to look a little bit vintage, this is perfect, and it is beautiful ribbon to colour tint. That's why I really, really like this one. There we go. It doesn't take much to actually dry because it's a very lightweight ribbon. So we've got our ribbon. I've used the same colours that I've used in the cardstock, so I know this is going to match absolutely perfectly. Now, not only am I going to use my ribbon, but of course I do need to add some embellishments. So I've got a couple of flowers. I'm not going to go too mad. I might only use one, but I'll colour tone a couple of flowers up. All I'm going to do, I'm going to use a dried marigold first of all. This is one of the colours I used in that background, but this is slightly lighter. So I'm just going to go from the middle and flick that colour out. Now I'm going to keep a bit of white on this flower because I want it to really stand out from that background. If you completely coloured the whole thing, then you wouldn't have anything to really, really make it stand out from the background. So I'm going to do that there. And picking up the ink, so you're picking up the ink with your distress ink, start from the centre. And what I'm doing with my cut and dry is actually arcing it. So you're getting that arch, so it means when you go in from the centre, you can literally just flick it out. And it is a flicking motion. So it allows your ink to really scoot across the card and give you that nice feathered effect. There we go. Now just to intensify the colour, I'm going to take a bit of the barn door. So barn door is a darker colour that I've used there. Now this time I don't want to use much. So with your cut and dry, this is when your cut and dry really come into their own, because you can really get a specific point. So I don't want too much barn door. So I'm just picking up a corner of the barn door and just again going in from the centre and flicking that colour out. And I want to keep those white tips so it really stands out from my background. So again, just flicking those colours out, and they blend beautiful. Again, these flowers have been cut in a really good cardstock, absolutely perfect for my blending. There we go, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is put all these onto my card. So it's really easy to make a beautiful embellishment. Obviously you can make your tags if you're wrapping presents. You could put words onto this one. I am a real fan of different words. You will see on the website again loads of different word stamps. Because they do, I think they really add a finished touch to your cards. We're just going to put the ribbon on, so we'll get a bit more ribbon there actually. I've dyed quite a big piece, so it gives me loads of ribbon to play with. Just wrap it round the actual card. You don't have to wrap it round if you don't want to waste any ribbon from the back, especially if you're making a topper. Then just put this on the front of the ribbon, but just for speed I'm going to do my wrap it around the back. There we go. And actually create my ribbon there, and just have a play with it. I mean, because you've got that lovely distress look, what I love about this, you don't need it too perfect again. So just pulling that in and giving my beautiful ribbon a bit of shape there. Get my scissors, sorry I left them over the other side, and just chop that down So I've got my lovely ribbon. Because I've not secured it with any glue, it does mean I can move it around. So if I fall out with where I want it, because I do this all the time, I don't really think about where I'm putting anything until I actually get it on the card. But it means I can play about with the movement. Okay, now we want to attach all our beautiful flowers to our card. I'm just moving the ribbon over slightly. I'm going to be using Crafty Notions glue. Crafty Notions is a really handy adhesive actually. It's one of those that I use for lots of different projects just because it's versatile. And again, you can use it for so many different things. So first of all, let me just get the right one that's full. So using my glue, it is a clear drying glue, so it will be, you can use it for things like obviously your embellishments, but also for things like your mica powders. You can use it for your flakes, your metal flakes, that's what I'm using. Now have a look at this. I'm putting quite a big blob on there. I want a decent size, and then we're just going to sit my flower about here, I think. Now obviously give it a bit of drying time. It will dry clear. I'm not worrying about those blotches that I'm seeing because I'm going to overlay my flower. I obviously want a good bit of adhesive, and I'm just squidging it in so I can feel it taking hold. And have a look at that, see, it's starting to take hold to that card, so I know it's gripping onto the card. And then what I'm going to do, not put as much on this second layer, but that I want to go over the top. So again, it's going to give it dimension, and it's going to make that flower stand out. Just bring the petals in a bit so I'll get a more dimensional look to my flower. Because floral embellishments are so in at the moment as well, it does mean you can colour tint any of your floral embellishments with your distress inks. You know, again, have a play. Any of your paper ones at any rate. There we go. So I've got my embellishments in place. Now, to finish this card off, our next step is going to be either we could use glossy accents or we could use this product, and I like these a lot. These are your enamel accents. You get them in white and you get them in black from Ink Essentials, so again, fantastic quality. All they allow you to do, and I'll show you on a scrap piece of paper first. I'm saying scrap piece of paper. This is the cardstock that we created earlier on, you know, by swishing our colours and picking up the colour tones. Now all you want to do is give it a good shake with a nozzle down, so the ink goes right the way down to the nozzle, and then just test it before you actually go on to your project. Because what you want to do is make sure you're getting just a tiny blob. Now, what I like about this, you'll find on some of your different accents that you get, that when you do this tiny blob, that it'll actually create a peak. This doesn't. What it actually does, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see on the camera, but what it actually does, it rests, so it creates a dome, and it will stay like that. When it dries, it will stay raised and it will give you a dome rather than a peak. So what we're going to do is put accents on our flowers. Now it is wet, it is a wet product, so it means you'll be able to add your micas, you'll be able to dust your micas over the top, you'll be able to add your glitters. So again, it'll really add versatility to your crafting projects. If you do get any air bubbles, as I did there, just dot out those air bubbles because you don't want any of those in your project. I'm just doing teeny tiny dots. And look how small you can get your dots. It really is a fabulous accent to any of your card making projects. So I'm just creating the centre of my flower, but then to finish it off, I'm just going to do some dots around the outside. So just a few dots. With this, it's funny, you don't need too much of it to just finish off a project, to give it that really cool look. So just a few dots around there, and then maybe a few at the top as well. Just again, to give it that finished look. And it will dry raise, but you have to leave it to dry, of course. So leave it, depending on how thick you put it on, leave it a few minutes. I leave things like this overnight just to be sure. But just, I get carried away with this as well. It's really easy to get carried away. You want to put dots everywhere, but you have to stop. So that's it. I'm not going to put any more dots. So I'm going to leave that to dry. While I'm using my Ink Essentials, and because I can, I'm going to take one of these characters, and I love these. Again, check these out on the website. We have got the ladies, and they're just so, look how beautifully they're cut. If I just look at the detail, I just think they're amazing. So fine, so filigree, and so easy to decorate. They look fantastic, of course, for your card embellishments. But using this, you can just create, and again that's a bit of an air bubble there, you can really easily create a really nice stylish look, but you don't have to do much at all. Just a few dabs of these, and see, we can create a band on her hats, we can create a necklace, we can even create a band like a jewellery there, so bracelets, and then we can even put a tiny bit on her shoes. So we can create a beautiful dimensional look, but so easy to decorate this. And that on a black and white card would look fantastic. Now if you wanted to add, oh, see, I'm getting carried away again. You do it every single time with these, you just want to carry on. And it does give you quite a glossy finish as well. Well, look how easy that is, just to create a bit of movement and a bit of dimension. So there are your enamel accents, plus you have got those fantastic silhouettes, and of course we have got our wonderful distress inks and all those embellishments. So again, have a play with all your crafty goodies.